Hi, this is Sam and you're watching Print Pretty and Peachy. For those of you who don't know, I've been away for a while. I've been recovering from an operation that I had, but I've missed all of you guys so much. And then I got this message from Vintage Chronicles inviting me to do a vintage tag, and I thought, why not? I'm not exactly well enough to do some tutorials, so you have to be a little bit patient on that. But I can have a little chit chat and do this tag. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll get started. Okay, so question number one is, who's your style icon? And I think I've mentioned this before in a few other videos, where I kind of feel like I get more inspired by style icons of the past. I don't like to do reproductions. I like to think of, like, if that iconic beauty like Marilyn Monroe or Grace Kelly were here today, what kind of things would they wear, instead of just trying to reproduce exactly what they wore in like a certain scene in a certain movie. So I do get really inspired by Marilyn Monroe, because she really knew how to dress her body. She knew how to be very feminine and very sensual, but still classy. And I love how demure and elegant Grace Kelly is. And also, I really like Katharine Hepburn, because she wore pants and she wore like dress shirts, and you know, she had that little bit of a masculine edge, which I always kind of think is a little bit nice and sexy on women as well. So question number two, what is your favorite way to get inspired? I think old movies always have been an inspiration to me, but I get inspired in so many other ways, like just magazines, like taking something that's new and kind of taking it and turning it with a little bit of a retro twist on it. Anything on YouTube is inspiring. There's so many good YouTubers out there that inspire me on a daily basis. So yeah, that would probably be it. Old photos, old movies, and you guys. Okay, so what is your most used hair tool? Probably just alligator clips like this and my hands. That's basically all you need to do a pin curl set. So that would be it. And then question number four, what is your favorite hair tool? It would probably be the same thing. Question number five, updo, down, or half and half? Definitely down. I do like the occasional updo, kind of like a 60s French twist, but I'd probably say definitely down. Question number six, is vintage styling something you do daily, weekends only, or just on special occasions? I would say that I incorporate it into my daily life. On a personal note, I haven't worn makeup for weeks. And this is the first time I've done my hair that did it with the curling iron, just to give it a little something. I can't really pin curl yet. But yeah, so it hasn't been part of my daily life recently, but I usually incorporate it into my daily life. Even just like my makeup, it's always inspired by vintage beauty. Okay, question number seven is, what is your favorite lipstick? You guys can check out my 5 favorite lipstick videos for that, so I won't bore you with things you've already heard. Question number 8. Let's talk fashion. Dress, either dress or skirt, or pants, heels, or flats. Well, I'm very tall. I don't know if you guys can tell by my appearance here, but I'm very tall. Especially after my operation, it was on my back. So I'm even taller now because they had to realign my vertebrae. It's very complicated. But I'm almost 6 feet tall. So I'm very tall, but I do like to wear heels. I think I'll have to reconsider some of the ones I have and maybe purchase some shorter heels. But I do like heels, and I do like flats, and dress, skirt, or pants, I don't know. I love all of them. In the summertime, I usually only wear dresses and skirts. Occasionally I'll wear like little crop pants or something like that. And in the winter, I live in Canada, and there's no way I'm going outside in a skirt. I'd freeze. Is homemade or off the rack? I don't know if I mentioned this before or what, but I really love homemade. Homemade is my favorite. I started sewing when I was about 8 years old. My grandmother got me my first sewing machine. She was a really big, she is a really big inspiration to me. She used to sew everything, and even watching old movies and all those things that came from her, we watch old movies together. So sewing and homemade is definitely my preferred. I have sewn a couple of pieces. I love going on to Etsy and buying vintage patterns that are new and remaking them using modern fabrics. I like that kind of twist. I'll maybe show you guys some of my sewing pieces one day, or maybe I'll put a blog post on it. But yeah, I love sewing, so homemade. Swing dance, no. I would probably even lie and say yes I did and try to like fake it or something. But no, I don't swing dance, and I've never taken any lessons or anything like that, but I would love to try it. Question number 11. Small subtle touches incorporate into everyday wear, or do you go all out extreme vintage? I kind of just incorporate it into my daily life. I like to feel like I love vintage, and I would wear head to toe vintage if I was going out or something like that, but when I get dressed in the morning, I like to feel that it's like part of my own personal style. I like to feel like comfortable and natural in it, because I feel like that's the way you get the most amount of confidence from what you wear, is you feel comfortable and it feels like it's part of you. I look in the mirror and I always say, like, is this an outfit or is it a costume? Like, I don't want to feel like I'm ever wearing a costume, something artificial. So I don't go all out extreme. Question number 12, favorite perfume or skincare? For perfume, I really love food flavored things. I don't know why. I work at a cosmetic store. I think I mentioned that before, and all my opinions are my own. I have to always say that. I'm not in any way endorsing any of the products I mention, but I love anything from Demeter. Demeter is a fragrance company you can get online, I think, and in some stores, and they make like fragrances that smell like different things. Like I have one that's gingerbread and graham cracker and brownie. I love any fragrance that smells like food, like vanilla even. And skincare. Skincare, I really love, there's a line from France called Caudalie. I really love their line. It's very natural and it seems to really work with my skin. I actually do have problem skin. I used to have pretty bad skin, and that actually prevented me from making videos for a while. I've always wanted to, and I want kind of to wait until my skin got better. That's a little side note there. But yeah, the Caudalie line is really, really nice. Anything moisturizing, I have very dry, sensitive. Okay, question number 13. What does the rest of your family think about your style? My dad is a little bit older, and he really likes it because he thinks it's very elegant and classy. And my brother kind of always, like, he's very social, and so he kind of likes things that are very, you know, agreeable with everyone kind of thing. So I think sometimes he'd prefer if I dressed a little bit more like normal. But yeah, actually an interesting kind of story about that. I feel like you have to never fear dressing a certain way that truly expresses your personal style, because last summer I went away to Italy, as a few of you know, and I was teaching English at a summer camp for a while, and I got kind of nervous just the week before my trip, and I was like, oh, you know, maybe I should just go out to like a store and buy a whole new wardrobe of just like regular everyday kind of person clothes, and, you know, fit in more, and I don't want to stand out and, you know, kind of be different from everyone else. And I had orientation week with all of my other kind of tutor friends or whatever, people I had met around, and it actually turned out that my style and my individuality is what made me stand out when I wasn't really like, so when I was being more shy, it was kind of talking for me and introducing who I was for me. And there was a couple other Sams in the orientation. There was probably about 100 people from all over the world who were doing this orientation, and they started just referring to me as Vintage Sam. Oh, what's Sam? Like, oh, Vintage Sam, and stuff like that. And people would come up to me and kind of be like an icebreaker and be like, oh, I really like this you're wearing, or I really like that you're wearing, or that's really cool, like, do you do this all the time? Do you dress like this? How long have you ever dressed like this? And that kind of like opened the door. It was kind of an icebreaker. So at first I was afraid to kind of dress in my own personal style, but it turned out to be a really good thing, and it kind of shows you, you know, being your true self is always the best way to be. Okay, that was a really long side note. Let's get into question number 14. So question number 14 is, what is your favorite accessory? And then it gives examples like hair accessories, lipstick, perfume, etc. I'd have to say probably my glasses, because they're so one of a kind. I love them so much, and it was kind of like a mission to get them, and I get a lot of compliments on them. But also I'd probably have to say my hair. Everyone asks me what color I dye my hair, but I don't dye my hair. It's just naturally like this. And I think it's a unique quality about me, and so that's why I really like it. So I use my hair as my biggest accessory. Maybe my height and my kind of personality, they stand out more than anything. Okay. Question number 15. I'm the vintage community warm and inviting, or cliquish and snooty? Include your personal home state. Well, I just kind of talked about the vintage community on YouTube because I know people in the vintage community in Toronto, but it's not like a cliquey community where we have like a secret handshake or something like that. So I'll just talk about the YouTube community. The YouTube community is really, really, really sweet in my experience. When I first started making videos, my very first video I sent to Ashley from Lisa Fremont Street, and I sent to Asia from Vivid Makeup, and I kind of said, you know, I admire you guys both so much, and I'd really appreciate any feedback you could give me, and I kind of really wanted to start making these YouTube videos. And they were so supportive, and they were encouraging, and they like actually checked my videos out, which was surprising enough. I didn't think that they would actually like take time out to watch them, but they did, and that meant a lot to me. And I try to do that for anyone else who's starting out and making videos and kind of giving them advice and stuff like that. So I think everyone is just warm and inviting, and I think the main thing about these vintage tutorials and this vintage community on YouTube is that you might come from a small town where you're the only one who likes vintage stuff, and you can, you know, spend an hour on YouTube and meet dozens of people all over the world who have the same kind of likes and interest in you and share that passion for vintage beauty and fashion. So that's a really great thing. It's like it connects you to people all over the world who have the same kind of loves and joys that you do, and that's really special. Okay, final question is, what drew you to this style? I think growing up, again, with my grandmother and watching old movies, it always was in the back of my head. And I always kind of liked, you know, the femininity and the glamour and the modesty of vintage dressing. And I thought it was very elegant, but very sexy at the same time, to kind of, you know, leave a little bit more to the imagination. And yeah, it always kind of has been in the back of my head. And then when you grow into your own person and your own woman, you kind of take that step and you can branch out into less mainstream things and kind of do what you like and evolve. And I think that's where I am now. So it's been so much fun doing this vintage tag. I guess it could be nice if you guys could get to know me a little bit more better. Please comment back, do a video response if you enjoyed this. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'm kind of just in my room here recovering, so it'd be great to pass the time. And for the tag, the Vintage Chronicles did so many people tagged all the great vintage YouTubers, but I think the one person that she might have left out would be Casey, and she has a vintage channel. She hasn't done a video in a really long time, and so hopefully this will maybe get her to do it, but I tag her. She hear from her, and And yeah, have a great day, and hopefully I can see you guys soon and do some more tutorials shortly. Bye.